as most of you know, fire and rescue departments are many volunteer staff in the state of Maine, and we give back pallets and pallets of water to any fire department that wants to come to our factory. Come pick up some water. They throw it on the trucks, and the fire department folks have plenty of good water to drink when they're fighting fires in the state of Maine. I can't say enough by how much the company gives back. I don't think there's ever opportunity that I turn somebody down when they call for water for any event, whether it be a marathon or other events. Some of the other big environmental conservation efforts that we've been undertaking include protection of spring sites. We don't talk a lot about protecting water as much as I think we should in the state of Maine. Water districts are doing a great job protecting resources. The Kennebunk Water District is doing a great job. Portland Water District, Auburn are great examples of folks that have been stewards of the environment, protecting watershed areas for the last 100 years, much before my time. Poland Spring is also protecting the environment and protecting aquifer and watershed areas by trying to limit development, purchasing land in places like Freiburg. We've spent over $2 million in the last few years trying to secure a recharge area and basically prevent development that may be adverse to aquifers and their water quality. It's another big part of our Giving Back program. It also helps protect the business, of course, but protecting aquifers is a great thing to be able to do. These are some of our employees right here in York County. Stephanie Castronelli lives in Gorham. Rick Boston here lives in Alfred. And Mr. O'Connor here lives right here in Wells, is one of our drivers. We have a full fleet of trucks and drivers that are our own employees that move the water from the satellite spring sites to the plant sites. And it's great to have 800 good jobs in the state of Maine. Back in 2006, we had about 600 jobs, so we've grown about 30% since 2006. And keeping jobs headed towards Kingfield in the last 6 to 8 months has been a great effort and a great increase in jobs just recently as well. These are what the employees look like when you take the 400 that actually work at the Hollis plant. These are the towns that they work in. You'll see that quite a few of them are right around here, and maybe some of your friends and neighbors as well. The plants generally pull from about a 30-mile radius. People will drive at least 30 miles for a good job, as you're, I'm certain, aware of. And you'll see that even some folks come over from Gray and Wyndham to the Hollis plant as well. And that's the basic makeup of our employees. So what does future investment look like for us? As I mentioned, we have about a 2-to-1 ratio for satellite spring sites and plant factory locations. As we just opened a factory location in Kingfield, we need extra water and need water to grow. We would like to continue to grow in the future, and as I said, we have about 4 to 5 year plans looking out in 2012, 2013. Hopefully the economy recovers. Right now, no one's thinking about growing too fast, too soon. But once the economy recovers, I would like to be in a good position as a natural resource manager to be able to grow responsibly in the state of Maine, continue to add jobs in a good way to the state. So what would future investment look like in York County? We've done a lot of work in the last few years up in Franklin County. Franklin County, as you might know, battles with Washington County for the lowest rung of our economic ladder in the state of Maine, unfortunately. We were very fortunate to be working up there with some great people, some great community-minded people, some great groups that were in favor of jobs and development. As we've seen the timber industry decline in those areas, we're not making popsicle sticks and tongue depressors anymore like we used to. Growing in Franklin County was a great thing, and it was great to be able to use those resources up there in a good way. So looking ahead in the future, we would like to try to continue to grow in places that are even a little bit farther south and back down here in York County, and that's why we've been looking in places potentially like right here in Wells. What does a future investment look like? I offer an example from Freiburg in Denmark, where we're working currently, and we have construction crews working today. We're investing $4 million in a new spring water station that looks similar to this, where a tanker truck would pull up and withdraw water and bring it to one of our factory locations. It creates local construction jobs. We have plenty of folks working up there. We've been able to award over 90% of the contracts for this facility today to local businesses here from the state of Maine. And we've been able to preserve about 1,000 acres of land that remains open for open space. I like to say in Maine, you don't really own land, you just kind of borrow it and keep a steward of the land so that folks can hunt and fish on it. But these lands remain open for folks in traditional uses in the state of Maine, which is a great thing. I mentioned aquifer protection as well. Unfortunately, when you look at the map of the state of Maine and where Poland Spring is distributed today, is a fact and a fundamental output of a population. As you get off the exits here in Kittery and York and Kennebunk, you all know that we have a great housing density in York County and Cumberland County. Unfortunately, we're building homes and population is growing into these areas from metro places in the south at a rate that's faster than we can, I think, safely protect aquifer areas. We have thousands of springs in the Berwicks, up in Sanford, where my family hails from, or even Wells and Kennebunk. Each one of these towns has thousands of springs, and Poland Spring has been looking at these resources for the last 8 or 10 years. But unfortunately, a lot of those springs have houses on them, they have businesses, they have roads, they have road salt, and those impacts to the aquifers and the springs beneath them are not compatible with our business output and our growth for the future. You cannot, a gentleman in Steep Falls told me about 5 years ago, they're not making land anymore. And it was a very pertinent point. You cannot go back and just restore some of these aquifers. I'm sure you could, in some rare instances, remove houses and take away septic systems and industrial impacts to aquifers. But in general, you probably can't go back in time. So our company has to look for places and look for investment in places like York County where there has been no development. And that's a key part of our recipe for the future, is that if we can't partner with folks like the Kennebunk Water District or maybe Portland Water District or anybody else that's been preserving land in the past, we're probably not going to be able to grow in those places in the future because there's already too much residential impact in those areas. So, partnerships. In Freiburg in Denmark, there's a bunch of different examples of giving back. Once we have a satellite spring site like this in Freiburg, we were happy and proud to be able to help out when the Freiburg Gymnasium burnt down at the Freiburg Academy a few years back. And a company, this budget of $100,000 well exceeds some of my local budgets, but it's great to have a large company to to rely on and to give a call during times of need. And last year I was able to work on a few defibrillators for the Freiburg Rescue Department. They were upgrading their defibrillators to a 12-channel lead so they could diagnose heart conditions on the way to the hospital. And we were able to give $35,000 for that. Recently gave $10,000 as well to the Denmark Elementary School to update a well that was aging. They were basically coming out of the President's Day week with not much water for the kids to withdraw. We are not using water in Denmark currently, but they had an aging well system. We were able to help out with that. So we're continuing to invest in these communities as well. We want to be able to give back in the places in which we work. A few other examples of giving back. I love this program through GMRI in Portland. Has anybody been down to Commercial Street and seen the GMRI facility? It's an excellent facility. They have a little teacher education area. They have some herring in a tank, and they teach kids about water, environmental issues as well. And this bus is a great output of our partnership with Hannaford. We've been giving a great multi-$100,000 a year investment into the lab venture system, where the outside of this bus looks spectacular, but the inside is even better. The inside is a virtual lab where the children can get on the bus, and because Maine's so spread out, GMRI has a goal to bring children from all over Maine, no matter if they're from the county or Washington County, and bring them to Portland and educate them. But they're going to be on the bus all day, right? So inside the bus, there's actually a virtual lab where the kids can learn, and they can do education on the way to Portland. This has been a great output of partnerships of another great Maine company in Hannaford, Poland Spring. Unum is also involved with the Lab Venture Bus program as well. We've been giving back in areas in York County as well, right down to the Gunkwit Wells Little League and high school project graduations as well. We want to be there when anybody needs us, wherever we can. Up in Kingfield, we broke out a number here of local vendor, in-state vendor. contributions. We spend about $60 million with the Kingfield factory. About $19 million of that was spent right here in state. We get a lot of equipment from all over the world, so a lot of equipment comes in from other places, but we're able to spend $19 million with that factory, bringing that online. Other great examples of giving back during times of need includes water for events and also for natural disasters. These folks are firefighters from 9/11 in New York. We've been giving back to Hurricane Katrina events. I mean, millions and millions of bottles. And I can't say enough about our own vendors and our transportation groups and companies in the state of Maine that have actually volunteered time, like Hart Transport, R.C. Moore out of Scarborough, and actually brought water to New Orleans and on their own dime, which has been great. We want to be there in times of need.